Hello. Good morning. I'm going to pick up on something that was in my thoughts much of yesterday, came up during our meeting yesterday morning at Monk's Yard, and I think it bears more thinking. If you weren't at the meeting, that doesn't matter. The truth is still the truth, and it is taken from that incredible verse in Romans 12, after Paul has explained the mysteries of grace and what a difference it makes to Jew and Gentile. His appeal is then that we present ourselves as a living sacrifice. A sacrifice is totally committed to God. And then he says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And yesterday I was thinking about the example of the caterpillar and the butterfly. And there are many in nature, aren't there? There are many creatures. There are the water bugs that are larvae under the water. But then when they change, they become dragonflies. And if you didn't know how it happened, you wouldn't put the two things together. You wouldn't say, well, I can see that butterfly is related to that caterpillar. Because very often, if you look at them and moths and their caterpillars, the colouring of the caterpillar is completely different to the colouring of the mature butterfly. And they just don't look like the same creature. There are other things as well. It came into my mind about the dandelion. I always find the dandelion an amazing mystery, that you can look at a field of dandelions or a lawn that's got dandelions in it. And I think they're glorious flowers, dandelions. And the next morning you can look out and they've all turned into the clocks, what we call the dandelion clock, those white feathered seeds that just blow on the wind, thousands of them. How does it happen? How does that transformation occur overnight? You don't see it happening. 1 minute is one thing, the next minute it's turned into the other. And the caterpillar does take a bit longer to turn into the butterfly. It becomes a chrysalis. And those people who have studied them and researched them and everything, they describe it as the entire makeup of the caterpillar in the chrysalis dissolves into a soup-like substance. And then all its constituent parts rearrange themselves to become a butterfly. It's that radical. And this is the word used, be transformed. Changed out of all recognition. And this is what will happen to us as our minds are renewed. That our minds are so, you think about it, we spend, I don't know what percentage of our time in the world, listening to the world's thinking. We've been brought up with ways of thinking. Some of them aren't bad, but very few of our thinking and our thoughts, in the main, are Christian thoughts. We have all sorts of things go round our head. All sorts of expectations of how we will respond to different situations, how we should think about things. Our world tries at the moment to tell us certain thinking is right and certain thinking is wrong, and they are so absolute about it. They won't tolerate people who don't agree with them. Many people these days, they're not taught to differ over a cup of tea and still stay friends. It's polarized, the thinking of the world. And this verse says, do not be conformed to this world. That's like pressing something into a mold. A lot of things that are made of plastic are pressed into the plastic is put into this mould, and the mould presses it together, and it takes the shape of the mould. And we take the shape of the world with our thinking and with our ideas and with our behaviour. But Jesus, through Paul, says, be transformed by the renewal of your minds. That as we read the scripture, as we ask the Lord to speak to us, as we meditate on the scripture, the thinking that's in our mind dissolves like this soup in the caterpillar and rearranges itself. And suddenly we think differently. And we know what is the good, perfect and acceptable, good, acceptable and perfect will of God. We suddenly know what's the right way to do things. I think it fits very much with that verse in Corinthians that says, you are a new creation. Old things are passed away. A new creature. I'm sure it's not a mistake that it was translated a new creature, because after all, that's what a butterfly is. It's a new creature compared to a caterpillar. The two are related, but they are radically different. Radically different. Don't conform. Let us be non-conformists. In the best sense of the word, non-conformists to the world. Do not conform to the world's thinking. Do not bow to the pressure. Stand up, whatever the cost is. Stand up. Stand up for the truth of the gospel and the truth about what people are really like, and the truth that we are all sinners and that there's none good, not one. The truth that we are all on our way to a lost eternity without Jesus. The truth that it's black and white. The truth that Jesus, why else would Jesus come? If there was an easier way for everyone to be saved, why on earth would Jesus come and die? Why on earth would he do it? If all that was important was that God loved everybody. Think about it. That's my thought for the day. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.